All right, so Learning Plan 4 is about to start, and this is going to talk quite a bit about sex and gender. And yes, there's quite a difference. So we're going to talk about gender identity, we're going to talk a little bit about gender roles, and then we're going to talk about how society influences both of those. So again, we have both males and females in the class, so think about how this affects you personally, how you're going to look at sex and gender with your family, your loved ones, and then just kind of look outside and think about what society has been telling you all along about sex and gender. So we're going to talk about the simple things like who does housework? Why do women have to do so much housework compared to men? Why do men think that they have to grill and women should cook and bake and all those sorts of things? So it's a really cool lesson plan because it talks about things that are affecting us every day. So we're going to talk about the difference between gender, sex, gender roles. We're going to talk about how marriage plays a role in our society and what does that really mean and why do we need to do that. We're going to talk about the physiological differences between males and females and some of those health consequences that you're going to find. And then sometimes those health consequences and our views on that create stereotypes or sexism. So really understanding the difference between those two. You're going to find that there's behaviors that are different between men and women. Really? Yeah, really. So we're going to talk actually about what those are and why they occur. And then we're going to talk about some of the biological factors to that, as well as when we talk about sex and gender differences, not only is it like a personal, social thought of it and how those are changing, but there are biological reasons to that. There are things that women are more apt to do because of their biology. And it's not to blame, but it is to say, you know, there's a reason why you're in that role a little bit, and we'll get to find out about that. There's going to be a little bit of research that you're going to read that talks about those differences. We're going to talk about those roles and how they're reinforced. And then the last part of this plan is going to talk about that gender identity development, which is a little different than just developing as a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer person. Transgendered individuals go through both a gender identity phase as well as then the transgender identity phase. Same as a gay or lesbian person, they're going to go through a gender phase and then they're going to go through their biological phase of whether or not they're bisexual, lesbian, or gay. So just know that those are different things and that they go through two of those, where sometimes heterosexual individuals will go through that, but because of the acceptance of it, it may not be as noticeable. And then we're going to talk a little bit about discrimination of transgendered individuals in the United States. So it's a really cool learning plan. I hope you get a lot out of it. Again, there's going to be two different participations in discussion groups. The first one is going to be an overall large one with an assignment due, and then the second one is going to be a small group discussion. So those might feel a little bit more intimate, and they're supposed to be because they're a little bit harder to talk about. So just be aware that there are two different participations in groups required for Learning Plan 4. And that's it.